let's say I copy this part and I paste it over here. Okay, now I'll just expand it out. Okay, let's go to over here. Okay, so what are the different kind of how the URL look like and what are the different kind of components of this URL? So let me just go over here. Okay, now let's say how the URL will look like. So it will be something like HTTP. Then let's say mail.google.com. Okay, you can say like let's say port 80, and let's say my site slash index.html caution key 1 equal to let's say 3 and key 2 equal to 5. Okay, so let's say you have a complicated URL like this. Okay, and you want to understand what are the different components of this website. Okay, so the first component over here is the protocol. Okay, protocol, it says we already see is HTTP, so we say it is a HTTP protocol. If it was a HTTPS, it will show us as https.mail.google.com. So the protocol over here is HTTP. The next thing we will see is the subdomain. Okay, so what's the subdomain over here? The subdomain over here is mail. Okay, the subdomain here is mail. It can be also something like this. It can be also something like this. Let's say m.a.mail.google.com. Okay, so in that case, the subdomain will be this one, m.a.mail.mail. Okay, now what's the parent domain over here? The parent domain over here is google.com. Okay, so this is the parent domain, which is the google.com or whatever. So okay, so now what's the port number? So here, if you are seeing, I am running the web server. I'm running the web server on port 8080. Okay, so that's why that's the reason why the thing is that here the port number is making sense. That okay, and the web server is running on port 8080. But if you don't give the port number, what will happen is that the web browser will figure out, okay, it's an HTTP, so it will automatically kind of figure out that the port number should be 80. Okay, so here the port number I don't need to specify, it's 80. I don't need to specify that. We can do that, but it is not required. So we can just say the port number by default is 80 because the HTTP runs on port number 80 protocol. Okay, if it was HTTPS, the port number will turn out to be 443. And if something else was specified like here, the port number will be 8080. Okay, so either you can put the domain over here or you can just directly put the IP address over here. Okay, so that's nothing. So it's all same. Okay, if you put a domain, the DNS query will be raised. Otherwise, the web browser will directly connect to this web server. Okay, so that's all for the port number. Now let's see. Now one thing is that so this is something like the folder name. Okay, folder name. So the folder name over here is my site. Okay, my site. So how you can do that? So let's say I do over here is that I create a folder over here, folder my site. Okay, and what I do is that I move the hi.html to my site. Okay, now if I do ls and I do tree, so what you see that in the root folder there's an index.html and then there's a my site. Inside this there is hi.html. So if I again kind of run the Python server, what you can do is that let's go to this. There will error response because there is no file right now. And if you see that there's a folder over here, my site, and in that my site there is a hi.html. Okay, and this is how the URL looks like over here, the same way. Okay, my site is hi.html. So that means that my site is a folder name, and inside that my site there is an index.html folder. So if I go over here and I just do something like let's say something like cd my site and I just mb hi.html to index.html. Okay, and now if I run the query, so what will happen is that it will obviously hi.html is not there. If I just give my site, so it should open index.html. I don't know why that's the case. I was expecting that to happen. If I do ls, yeah, it should have happened, but I think it's taking index.html only from the root folder. Not if the file is existing in a subfolder, it will not take that by default. Okay, so that's something we saw over here. Okay, so we need to specify the name over here, that is index.html. But if this file was in the root folder, it will not be there. Okay, it will directly kind of open that up. Okay, so in similar manner, if I just open this up, you will get the file. I don't know why it is doing that. My site, my site. Okay, so the question is that I am actually inside this one. I need to kind of create something over here. And now let's do something like my site. Let's see if it works. It worked. So I don't need to specify index.html. It will automatically take that index.html, even though it is present in the subfolder. Okay. So now thing is that the folder name is my site, and the file name, the exact file name is what it is. It is index.html. Okay, index.html. And now what are the parameters? So these are the parameters over here. So this is something that we will kind of discussing later, that get and post parameters. So here we are seeing that is get parameter, because these are the variables which are passed along with the URL itself. If we see something that the variables question mark something variable are passed along with the URL, that means it's a get parameters in action. Okay, so we see that the variable is key one, and we are telling the web server that we are giving you the variable, and the variable value is 3. Similarly, we are giving another variable is key 2, and the variable is 5. We can also change it something to anything of our choice, like query and key 2. But the script at the backend should be able to kind of understand what this variable is all about and what this variable is all about. Okay, so that's all about a quick introduction to how to decode a HTTP URL. So we have the protocol, we have the subdomains, we have the parent, port number, folder name, file name, and the get parameter when we are seeing the HTTP URL. And going further, what we will do is that we will try to kind of understand more about this URL part, understand more about the get parameter and post parameter. So I think it's enough for today. We will kind of continue our session for tomorrow. And let's wind up our session for today, and we'll kind of continue with our discussion with the HTTP protocols. And it will be much more interesting. There will be a lot of other different kind of scripts that we'll be seeing. We'll also look at different other ways to kind of automate certain websites, like using Selenium, Mechanize, and Beautiful Soup. So we'll see a lot of modules that will be kind of helpful to you guys as a cybersecurity professional to kind of automate a lot of stuff on the website. So we'll kind of see that. Okay, so let's wind up our session for today. And if you have any questions, just feel free to ask. Let's say bye and let's wind up for today. Okay, so any other questions, guys, before I wind up? I hope that's not. So okay, see you tomorrow then. Bye bye.